Greetings, sports fans. Is more sports back in your business? Well, today, I don't know, I think I'm just going to do kind of a hodgepodge of different packs. As you can see, my little sort of backdrop is growing in quantity of miscellaneous packs. I've just been sort of collecting them there. I have various stashes of packs, different places in my dwelling. This right here is a 2022 Upper Deck Series 1 and 2022 Series 2 is coming out here, I think, in the next couple of weeks. So I might have to go dig up some of that. I see they have a little sticker on these things. Kind of silly since the whole box is wrapped. I feel like I've opened one box of this. Maybe I have not opened a hobby box of this before. Maybe I've opened only blasters. But yeah, a while back I bought a case of this, adding to my collection of Upper Deck flagship cases. So I'm not going to open all of this probably. But I'll open a bit of it and maybe see what we feel like. I feel like the other thing I kind of want to crack into is a couple more of these guys. 2022 Topps Update blasters. These are pretty hot products. I think these are selling for like $25-30, something like that. Original retail price is $14.99, which is what I would have gotten them for at the local Target. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of running out of ideas for stuff to do on videos. Ooh, this is nice. UD Canvas Young Guns Own Power is one of the best guys you can get, I think. At least he was when I opened this stuff a long time ago. So the Canvas Young Guns are not as valuable as the regular Young Guns, but sometimes they're nice little bonus cards to get in a set where the regular Young Gun of the player may not actually be included, but I think Own Power is in fact in this set as a regular Young Gun, so I guess he's just got two Young Guns in there. Well, that was a nice start. I feel like I have an Own Power Young Gun that I pulled out of like a blaster somewhere. But I don't think I've mentioned it yet, but like this past Sunday, I had like 60 some auctions on eBay ending at the same time. I started them like 10 days before I did a 10-day auction, which is what I, frequently try to do when I do auctions. Bobby Brink, I don't think is really much, but we'll take him out. So anyways, that was a ton of work to get those all packaged up and shipped out, but wasn't too bad. I have a pretty good system for, I'm trying to get my pop screen up here because I'm hearing some P's that are a little too poppy. Yeah, much better. Yeah, I have a pretty good system for, mailing, doing labels and stuff. And single graded cards that I sold, so don't have to really weigh those packages because I know exactly what they weigh. Just gotta plug it into the little shipping thing over on eBay. Print those suckers out and package them on up. Debut dates. Cole Sillinger. Interesting. I don't know if I've seen one of these before. I feel like I've seen one of these cards coming out of, like, you know, a break or something that I've watched on YouTube, but I don't know if I've ever pulled one. You know, I haven't really opened a lot of another UD canvas. I think that's a parallel black and white, but not completely sure. We'll pull it out for future reference. Well, this guy, Connor McDavid, is super hot right now in hockey world. Having a monster season. Kind of made me think I should go look for, there's Hayden Hodgson, young gun. Kind of made me think I should go look for some, like, 2015 products where he is included. I was taking a peek at 2015 Upper Deck Series 2. His young guns are in Series 1 of 2015. But in Series 2 he actually has quite a few cards. Probably not very easy to get. They're mostly like inserts. He has I think he has a canvas young gun you can get in Series 2. Flip to no canvas. But there's actually like a clear like acetate parallel of his young gun that in current sets they have clear acetate versions of young guns that are parallels. Maybe I'll do a little bit more of this stuff. And they're very valuable. But for some reason in 2015 they did not include the clear young guns. With Series 1, they put him in Series 2, at least for Connor McDavid, so you can get a very valuable parallel, of his young gun. Trey Fix-Wolansky, young gun. In that Series 2, and those Series 2 boxes, I think they're about like $350 to $400. Which is not cheap, but for the possibility of getting, some kind of Connor McDavid rookie card, dated insert, or maybe if you're super lucky, that clear young guns. There's Connor McDavid right there. I think we have a Dazzler coming up, yeah. Let's bring it. Oh, that's a nice one. Matt Boldy, that's a rookie, I believe. So, wow, pretty cool, yeah. I gotta say, this box is, oh man, that top border has a kind of a little, I don't know what you call it, a little kind of frayed top edge there, so that's definitely not a gem. See a little bit over here too. I think it just, nature of these foily cards, it actually is not something I think they would necessarily count against you grading wise, but they might, so it's a bummer to see. Alright, one more pack of this hockey and then we'll maybe see what else we got. Okay. One thing I kind of want to do is look at some of the, I'd love to do more hockey. I have like some 90s stuff that I want to get into, but I have to tell you guys, my hockey videos are like my least watched videos. So like the hockey folks. It's actually a really nice Jack Hughes insert there. I think he's doing well this year. Center of attention. So I really like a lot of the cards I'm getting in this box so far. But yeah, hockey content is, the hockey fans are very dedicated. Nice Cale Makar there. And I appreciate and love them. And I love hockey now. It's weird. I really didn't like hockey stuff at all. And, never really opened much of it except, very occasionally. But I don't know. And then I just got into it. And no, it's kind of one of my favorite things. Even though I still don't know a lot, and I don't really watch a lot of games. So I don't have a great sense of who's hot at any given moment. But anyways, yeah, so my hockey content is pretty poorly viewed. I think just because fewer people are interested in hockey, generally, at least in the U.S., than in other sports. So, get more attention on the non-hockey stuff. So anyways, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't give a crap about that. Just do what I want. But yeah, anyway, so I've got some hockey stuff. I've got all those sort of early 90s boxes that I bought at a card show a couple months ago. And I'm kind of curious to crack into some of that stuff. Low value as it may be, but I think there's a lot of, good name rookie cards that aren't really worth very much, but they're, still cool. Like Hall of Famer rookie cards with relatively little value, which I think is kind of a fun thing to get out of a pack of cards from, 20, 30 years ago. So yeah, I've got that stuff that I maybe want to open sometime soon. And the other thing I was thinking I gotta do is, I've ordered a bunch of, just lots or, collections of miscellaneous packs. A lot of those packs are 90s and older. And I've been wanting to kind of go through some of those, collections and pick out a few of those packs to open up. But haven't had a chance to do that yet. So hopefully I will. I think this weekend I should have a little more time than usual. Boy, next month, April, there's a really big card show in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is the nearest big city to where I am, and a place that everybody from my area, tends to go at least a couple times a year, including myself. I like to get out there for, just hanging out and maybe see a baseball game or just go to, restaurants and hang out. I'd actually love to spend a lot more time there. But yeah, I don't know if I'll make that happen or not. But yeah, this show in Minneapolis. So Minneapolis, the card collecting scene there is, it's okay. There's a fair number of hobby shops around. None of them are particularly spectacular. And there's a regular circuit of, card shows that goes on there. And I've been to, several of the ones that are regular, like they do every month or a couple months. And at least for what I'm usually interested in, they're not very great. I like unopened stuff, and I don't want to see a bunch of stupid retail from the last 2 years. I want to see oddball, stuff and 80s stuff and, non-sport and everything. And I wanted like cheap and I wanted in quantity. So that's pretty rare at the shows that I have been to in that area. And it's frankly rare, everywhere. So these shows may be actually quite good if you're, just sort of the average singles buyer. I understand that my, interests in the hobby are quite unique, and that's okay. But yeah, I think the shows there are or at least actually the last one I went to, is pretty well attended. There's lots of people there, and there's a good amount of tables. But honestly, when I go to a show, like I literally just waltz through there and I just look for unopened, and I don't care about anything else, frankly. I think most people are interested in like sort of like bargain boxes, like going through and finding like, the $20 card in the dollar box, or, dealers that have like, nice pricing on, nice modern cards, whatever they happen to collect, Acuna Soto, Doncic, and etc. If somebody has like good pricing on nice cards of those guys, like medium range cards, I think they'll be pretty popular. But yeah, I just pass right over that stuff. Like I literally just I can go through a show in about like 10 minutes or less, because I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I can identify it very quickly. So I roll on through a show, and if there's no dealers that have good quantities of, or really any quantities of like older stuff, like 80s and 90s unopened, I can get through it very quickly. It's a gold. It looks like Luke Maley. And unnumbered parallel. Rich Hill. He just had his 75th birthday. Nice Bobby Witt started the MLB. And a nice O'Neal Cruz. And wow, that's a nice card. Topps Gold. Black. Cunha, very cool card right there. And look at that, man. Boy, you just cannot go wrong with these hangers. Just tons of awesome stuff coming out of these all the time. Love them. I mean, what more can I say, you guys? This one actually looks really nicely centered too. Strangely, the surface on all these is a little bit wacky. Oh, dinged up corner. Bummer. Oh wow, the corners on all these are, except those parallels, which actually come from a different, kind of part of the process than the base cards when they're packing these out, I believe. But these base cards are all dinged up, but none of those parallels are in this bottom corner. Anyway, so Minneapolis is going to have its first ever like really big show. I think there's going to be like 300 or 400 tables, which is an insane amount of tables for, a market that, honestly, the biggest show I've ever seen there is like maybe 60 tables. I'm sure that back in like the 90s or the late 80s, they had shows that were like, in fact, I feel like one time I went to a show when I was going to school out there. This would have been in, the mid-90s. And it was a pretty big show. They might have had like 70, 80, 90 tables. But, yeah, like 300-400 tables is nuts. I mean, that's one of the biggest in the country. Yeah, that goes on in April. I'm hoping I can get out there. I actually have to go. My car is getting repaired. You may recall the accident that I was in back in, I think that was early December. Yeah, that car is still being repaired. There just apparently were there's a lot of parts they needed, and they're kind of hard to get, and blah blah blah. So I gotta go out there and pick that car up when it's ready. So I know I'll be out there for that. And I'm up so I can be there around the time that show is. Although actually, I think the car's probably going to be ready a fair bit sooner, but I don't know, I've thought that before, and then they tell me something else is wrong with it, and I gotta fix that. So, yeah, who knows, but anyways, I hope to go to this show. You know, I've never been to a national, and I'm not sure I ever will go to a national. I guess someday I might. I mean, they're in Chicago, which is a pretty short trip. It's like an hour and change. And I'm trying to think about this. I feel like they're. Yeah, there's, well, gee whiz, I know there was direct flights to Chicago from where I am. I know United used to do those flights. I don't know if they still do. It's been a while since I've been to the airport. But, yeah, oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, the biggest shows that I've been to in Boston, they used to have, I lived there for 15 years, and they used to have, a show that was, like, pretty regular. It was, like, every quarter, I think, maybe. It was called the Shriners Show, because it was at the Shriners Auditorium in, I think, Wilmington, Massachusetts. Not to be confused with Wilmington, Delaware. One time I biked out to this thing from Cambridge, which is like, it's like a 3-hour bike ride through a lot of crazy roads. But yeah, I don't know, I was into, and I always was biking everywhere. I never had a car when I lived in Boston, but I wasn't one of these dudes that got like biker shorts on and got the road bike going, and the aerodynamic helmets and all that. Like I just had a, like a hybrid kind of mountain bike, and I used it to get around to go to work and to get groceries and stuff. It was a pretty nice existence, I have to say. A little bit dangerous because traffic in Boston is no joke. They have no effing idea what they're doing. They're all pissed off because the Red Sox suck, and the streets there are just like the streets in Boston. You gotta understand, were built in like the 1600s. Okay, they did not know much about traffic management at that time, and the city was much smaller then. So, bottom line is, biking in Boston is insane. But I was young, didn't have a family. Trusted my reflexes. And here's a nice numbered green parallel rookie card, not bad. So yeah, I biked all over the place when I was in Boston. Never had a car there. And I decided to bike to this show in Wilmington, Mass. And that show was like, I think it was like 200 tables. And I gotta say, for the stuff that I'm interested in, I mean, back then I didn't really buy a whole lot because I lived in a 700 square foot apartment condo, and I had like, one kind of small hallway closet available for storage of cards, and that was it. So I wasn't really buying a ton back then, and I didn't have any aspirations to sell stuff. I just kind of loved to buy it because I just remember collecting as a kid and wanting all this 80s unopened stuff that I couldn't afford, and I say it right there. So yeah, those shows were pretty good for stuff, and it's funny, I can remember a lot of the stuff I bought. I bought like a mostly complete rack of box of 1985 Topps baseball for like, pretty stupid low money. I bought, one time I went there, and they have a raffle that they do, and I think it's like they charge admission, and it's like whatever, $5, but you get entered into a raffle, right? So they take your ticket, put it in the thing, and then they pull the winners, over like every hour or so they pull a winner out. And the prize for one of the raffles was like a $200 gift certificate. Funny, the bottom left corners, and these are banged up too, which is not something I normally expect to see, because often these hanger boxes are really good for condition because they protect the cards pretty well, compared to like hanger packs or any kind of cellophane pack where the cards can easily get dinged, by people looking through them or whatever. So yeah, I was at this show in Boston, and they had a raffle, and it was $200 certificate, and they they read off the name, and it was my name, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. So I used that to go buy a box of 1980 Topps baseball, which I think was probably like, it was probably like $500 or $600 at that point. So I get $200 off, and I kept that box. Around and still have it. And a couple years ago, I sent it off to Baseball Card Exchange to get it authenticated, and it was all good. That was pretty cool. At one point, those boxes were worth like $3,000 back in the 2021 time frame when everything was blowing up. These days they're down to, I think, like $1,500 maybe, if they're wrapped by Baseball Card Exchange. Nice Acuna. So yeah, so that bought those Boston shows, which I went to a few times when I lived in that area, were the biggest shows I'd ever been to. But then one time, this was back, probably about, I guess it was like 2018. It was before the pandemic, and I was out in New York, just kind of on a vacation-y type trip. And I had a free day. I was actually staying out, like, kind of in upstate New York, flying into the city, and then drove out to the kind of, I don't know, would that be the Catskills where I was? It's like generally in the vicinity of Cooperstown, which I ended up going to as well for like the second time of my life. So I'm out in New York, upstate New York, and I had a free day, and I was like, you know what? And it was on a weekend, and I was like, I'm gonna see if there's any card shows. So there was, in fact, a card show that was one that I had seen advertised in, like magazines, like Beckett and stuff like that for many years. It's the one, I think it's at Pace University in like Long Island. Is that right? What? If it's not right, I don't know why I got Pace University in my head. But anyways, one of the schools out there has a big auditorium, and this card show, which is like 250 tables, has been going on there for like many, many years. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go check that out. So I went and checked that out, and it was, it was decent. It was big, but again, being interested in what I'm interested in, there wasn't a whole lot to be looked at, but there was a few things that I found pretty interesting. Let's do one pack of this 2022 Topps Chrome, which I now have a lot of. Sports Card Show, my non-ASMR sports card channel. And I would advise all of you to get over there and subscribe so you get notified when I go online for that, because I'm probably just going to do it like, you know, on a whim. And my plan is to do some giveaways, and I want to do like, I don't know, a bunch of packs open for, you know, viewers of the show, and I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of get people like sort of like signed up for that, so I can have a queue, you know, of people that I you know, select for free packs, and then B, I have a you know, an email address for them so I can contact them, or they can contact me, you know, if they get something that they want shipped. They may just have me open a pack and it's not anything they want to have shipped, which is fine, but you know, some people are gonna want to have them shipped, so I gotta be able to contact them, which is not possible using just YouTube. So I'm sort of devising a way to, you know, allow people to like sign up for the giveaway relatively easily once I start the stream, and then just go through, you know, the list of people that get signed up in the order that they sign up. But if you want to possibly, you know, get notified when I jump online, you guys subscribe to the Sports Card Show, because I think if you do that and you click the bell, it'll notify you when I go online. But yeah, hopefully I can do that this weekend. I've been wanting to do that for a while, but you've been warned. If you want to check that out, I would go subscribe. But that's what we got for today over here. Hope you guys are doing fantastic, and we will catch you all next time. Have a great one. Bye now.